Hey, awesome friends. I am Awesome Danny. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about this guy right here. This is the KZ Vader Pro, which was sent out by KZ for review. So thank you, KZ, for making this video possible. So the Vader Pro is an IEM with 3 dynamic drivers inside on each side. So 6 total. The unboxing was, usual KZ, kind of whatever. You open the box. Well, more like slide it out of the sleeve, and the IEMs are there, and then accessories is just under this cardboard right here. KZ has, in my experience, always been very minimalistic, and the accessories are always very subpar. Cable is pretty cheap feeling, the ear tips are okay, and there's no pouch or anything like that, so it's just the usual basic KZ experience. Build on the shell, it's actually nice. It's not too heavy. I have come across some KZs that the shells feel kind of hollowed out, but overall, nothing new here. It's exactly what you expect from KZ. Sound is also nothing new or innovative, but it is somewhat familiar and overall not bad. So before I get into the actual sound, there is switches on here, which is something I hate. I hate IEMs with switches. Like if there's one switch on there where maybe I can deal with that, but more than one switch, it's just like, how many times I have to graph once for each switch, up and down, different configurations. I hate it, but it does add, when it's actually implemented well, some versatility. Some sets can, with the flip of a switch, be a completely different experience, but a lot of them feels like they never do anything. Well, with this set, in this case, it's a little bit of both. So basically, it's going to tilt the bass either up or down overall. So you're going to have mid bass go up or down, and then sub bass go up or down. But then you can also kind of mix and match those profiles. So you can have a little bit more focus on mid bass, even though there's not a lot on this set, and we'll get into that, and then roll off a bit on the sub bass, or vice versa, where it's like less mid bass and then a little bit more sub bass. So that's basically what the switches do. But overall, the sound signature is pretty much Harman, Harmonish, Harman inspired, Harman adjacent, Harman like, Harman. So what that means is you have a lot of sub bass on this set. Then when you get into the mid bass, there is a drop, and depending on your switch configuration, it's a even more drastic of a drop, but there is a scoop for the mid bass. Recess, not quite there. You miss that tactility, that presence, that kick, the initial impact. Sub bass is there. There is a little bit of slam, but it's mostly just rumble. And as you move past the bass, when you get into the mid range, as a result, due to that mid bass scoop, it's very superficial. The overall sound is light, kind of floaty, and that's how vocals are, especially female vocals. They have a lot of upward extension, but lack that substance on the lower end, and male vocals are just kind of pushed back and sometimes even get lost and stuff. But due to that scoop at the same time, there's a lot of clarity here. There's a high contrast between the bass and then the rest of the sound frequency, which gives it a very clean and highly detailed sound characteristic. So don't expect a lot of body in the mid-range, but anything past like male vocals stands out on its own. And then when you get into the treble itself, it is quite boosted, especially on the lower end. It can definitely be fatiguing for some. It contributes to that higher clarity sound. A lot of the little delicate sounds come through nicely, very shimmery, a little splashy at times. And just overall with this sound signature, stage feels a little bit expansive, more open, high clarity sound with good detail, but less note weight. So it feels, not as impactful or visceral, and just overall lacks substance. And overall, my rec rating for the Vader Pro is going to be a 1, so a soft no. There's a lot of things that are similar to this set. Well, not a lot, but there's a few that are similar to this set that you can probably pick up that come with better accessories. Build might be the same. So for example, like the Truthier Zero, it's very similar sound signature overall to the Vader Pro. The Vader Pro is actually a lot more detailed and cleaner. Truthier Zero just has a haze to it, and it's just overall It feels a little bit more sluggish. But then also the Zero has more accessories, even though like the pouch that I had just unraveled on me like right away. It wasn't very useful. But you'll get better ear tips and a better cable and prettier faceplate. But yeah, it just has a lot of competition and there's some alternatives. But I'll go ahead and leave the link in the description for you guys if you guys want to go check it out. Thank you for tuning in. Please consider liking and subscribing. And until next time, you stay awesome, friends. Bye.